Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Sotah, page 16, which discusses a question that I often have when it comes to making instant coffee or hot chocolate. What do we do first? Do we first put in the hot water into our cup, and then we pour into it our contents, we put the coffee and then the sugar? Or do we start off putting the sugar and all the coffee on the very bottom of the cup, or you put the hot chocolate powder on the bottom, and then only afterwards you pour the water? Perhaps this is a question that one would also ask when it comes to having cereal. I would gather most people, they first put in their cereal, and then afterwards they put on the liquid. So maybe this is the typical behavior of doing it in this way, that first you have the dry material that goes in first, and then the liquid goes on top. Interestingly enough, this is a dispute not regarding cereal, coffee, or hot chocolate, but when it comes to the combination of the Sotah's drink, in order to test her to see of her innocence, there is water that's put into a vessel, and there is also ashes or dirt that is put into the vessel. This is also something which takes place when it comes to the para aduma, the red cow. That part of the process of being sprinkled is not just with its ashes, but also when it's mixed together with water. And on this it's discussed what is put on first. Now, when it comes to the law of a sotah, there is a verse that says that it's not enough that they need to be together and mixed in, but it also has to be recognizable that you could still see it. In other words, there may be a reason to say that it's better to put the water in first and then only afterwards the earth when it comes to the sotah, because the verse says explicitly that you are supposed to be able to actually recognize or see it, that the earth needs to be visible. It's not something that is supposed to be just completely not seen. And maybe this is a little bit of an understanding that why we don't normally make our drinks that way, because if you put in hot water, then afterwards you put in the hot chocolate, so it ends up remaining on the top, and it doesn't necessarily mix as well, and it's recognizable. Maybe it's better to first put all of the solids, the coffee grounds, all this, and the sugar on the bottom, then you pour the water, and that will cause it to mix, and then you will no longer really see, of course, the color of the water changes, but now you can no longer see the solid. It's all like one liquid. So the question is why? Why by the sotah do we possibly do things differently? Even though there are opinions that say that if it was done the other way around, it's okay. But why would we preferably want to be able to see the earth? Why isn't it, if it's just mixed together, why don't we just do it so that you can't even see it? And obviously the point of the sotah is, as we mentioned, we don't want her to drink this concoction. Part of the reason is because we don't want God's name, which is going to be put into this drink, it'll end up getting erased. We don't erase God's name. We do it for peace. But it would be much better that she would admit to her guilt, and then she won't drink it. And therefore, it'll alleviate a lot of these issues. So part of the things that we do is that we want to make her involved in a process which is a little bit uncomfortable and not as enjoyable. And certainly looking at a cup in which it has earth, dirt floating around, that's something which most people would not enjoy drinking. And that could perhaps influence her and encourage her to say, you know what, I'm not going to drink this. Let me tell you the truth before I do so. But in general, we can perhaps learn from here that if you want to make sure you make a good cup of coffee, put in the water second.